Hello, hello. I'm Zachary Hines, and this is what you missed at the Straz. Welcome. I'm Zachary Hines, and I'm with the ever so lovely LeeAnn Day Douglas. How are you, LeeAnn?
I'm good. How are you?
Great. Long time no see.
I know. It's been just a couple of hours.
I know, but even just those few hours were horrible. Torture.
You're so strange.
Well, especially I've been away like almost this entire month.
Now that's true. I haven't seen you very much
I
this
know.
month.
You were saying how you longingly would come to my desk.
I would. I'd walk by your desk and just kind of look over wistfully and be like, oh, where's Zach? So,
out of the office.
yeah.
But so good to be back. And I got back from Miami on Saturday and dove right back in Sunday night with Disney's Aladdin.
It's Disney.
It's Disney.
I love it.
It's Disney, and it had tap dancing. This was a night made
I
for
was
LeeAnn.
so pleasantly surprised with the tap dancing, but we'll get back to the tap dancing. Yeah, so it was Disney. I love Disney. You know, being brought up in Florida with the Magic Kingdom right here, it's just kind of in my blood.
Oh yeah, I mean, I've always loved Disney, and I feel I've been trying to prepare for this because I know, LeeAnn, you are a big Disney buff. So thank God for Disney Plus because I've been rewatching the movies, trying to hone my Disney chops. But I feel like this is a great opportunity for you to kind of set the stage and help educate me and our listeners on all the Disney magic.
Oh gosh. Well, I don't know that I know all of the Disney magic. I can tell you the Disney magic that I do know.
Yes.
So the parks being right here, they opened when I was just a little girl. I mean, I think I was 3 the first time my mom took me to the Magic Kingdom, and that was the only park there was. I mean, there wasn't Epcot and Animal Kingdom and MGM. None of those existed
Oh, wow.
back then, and I think it was free to get in or really cheap to get in, but you had to pay for ride tickets. So
Oh.
different rides had a different value. So they were lettered like A, B, C, D, E. And if you had tickets for A, which was the most expensive one, I think that was like Space Mountain or something like
Mhm.
that. But you could ride the cheap ones like 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea for an E ticket. So we were a family of 5, so we had a lot of E tickets.
Yeah. No Space Mountain for you.
No, luckily, there were only a couple of us that actually really wanted to ride it, and I was little. I mean, really little. So, I mean, I was really impressionable. I thought 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, like I really thought that we went 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. I didn't realize it was a ride. I thought it was a real submarine and that we really went down. And then like the Haunted Mansion, I was so terrified
Oh, yeah.
because the
The
ghost is
ghost
like
next to
talking in your
you.
ear. And so I kept my eyes closed the whole time, and I just remember my sister saying, "It's okay, LeeAnn, it's okay. Open your eyes, open your eyes." And I wouldn't. And at the end when they're saying the ghost is going home with you, ha 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 ha, and, it's like, "Oh my gosh, this is terrifying."
Oh my God, I loved it. I thought that was I really believed that I was taking home a ghost with me.
So did I. I was terrified. Yeah, I
So you were
just
terrified. I was like, I have a new friend.
that makes a lot of sense. So yeah, and that was when I was teeny weeny, but as I got older, we would go back again and again, and I grew to appreciate it, and I love it as an adult. I try to go as often as I can.
Do you have a Disney pass? Season
I
pass?
did have a Disney pass for a couple of years in a row. Now I've kind of done it all, so you got to take a break.
Mm-hmm.
But we just went this past May. They have sometimes a Florida resident ticket where
Yeah.
you can
Mm-hmm.
go 3 or 4 times in like their slow period and just go back to whichever park you want. And so we did that this year. So
Oh.
yeah, so we went to the Magic Kingdom and it was fun.
So has your taste in the different parks, changed over time? Because I actually haven't been to Magic Kingdom in years, or really any of the other parks. I go to Epcot once a year, at least.
Yeah, I mean, I really enjoy Epcot a lot. Um,
I love Epcot.
but I like all the parks. I've never been to MGM, but
Really?
really, I like Animal Kingdom. I like the parks for different things, for different moods.
Yeah.
You
Mhm.
know, so I don't go to the Magic Kingdom very often, but I like to go once every couple of years.
Mhm.
When I really want to see a fireworks spectacle, I go to the Magic Kingdom.
So, what are your favorite Disney movies? Like, what's your Disney era? Like, what do you have?
Okay, well, when I was in college is when they released Beauty and the Beast.
Okay.
And that was a big deal because the animation was so well done on
Mhm.
it was almost like a new era in animation, in Disney animation when they released Beauty and the Beast. When they're in the ballroom scene, it's the ballroom itself is so realistic that I just remember it took my breath away
Yeah.
in the theater. So I was like, "Wow, that's amazing." And then very shortly thereafter, The Lion King came out,
Mhm.
and I was an English major at the time, and so I was studying Shakespeare that summer, and I was like, "Wow, this is really Shakespearean." I mean, it's like I was drawing parallels between it and everything, so I really dug it. It was really cool. Um, and then like I loved The Little Mermaid for the music, but that was previous to Beauty and the Beast. So the animation wasn't as
Yeah.
great.
Mhm. But
Um,
the best Disney villain ever written, in my opinion, is Ursula.
Ursula Witch is amazing.
I mean, I personally don't think she's a villain. I think she's the hero of the story. She's simply just trying to tell Ariel, don't give up everything for this man that you've never even talked to.
Either that or she's trying to teach her about consequences,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. She's teaching her many lessons.
Yeah. I really loved The Hunchback of Notre Dame.
You know what? I need to rewatch that one. I mean, the music in that is so
The
beautiful.
music is beautiful. The message is beautiful. It's really dark.
Hmm.
It's not for children.
And the animation is really, I remember being like with all the stained glass windows and all the art with that, it was really beautiful.
It was really, really nice. So those are my favorites.
Okay, so most of your favorites have been turned into stage shows.
Right?
Um, and I would say the same, like Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin, Little Mermaid, Lion King. Those are all my faves. I do love, and Mary Poppins.
Mary
Love
Poppins.
Mary Poppins.
Yeah,
Oh my
which we
god.
talked about.
I would wish that
But
Mary
I don't think of
Poppins.
that as like an animation.
Right. There's
Right.
just a little animated
Just a
sequence.
little bit.
Right.
Yeah.
I used to when it would get really windy and stormy outside when I was a kid, I would go outside with an umbrella and try to be like Mary Poppins and fly away with the
I'm
wind.
surprised that you didn't.
I know.
That's funny.
Maybe in another life.
Maybe.
So, all of these movies have been turned, most of them, into stage shows.
Correct.
I would say to varying degrees. Most of them, I'd say. I mean, Disney does an incredible job.
They really do.
You really can't go wrong.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, I liked Aladdin, the animation. It wasn't one of my favorites, but I did like
Really?
it. I did like it. So, and I love Robin Williams.
Oh yeah.
So, I mean, he was amazing, and it's so hard to follow that. You know.
Oh yeah. I mean, just and I think they did such a great job with finding a different way to portray it. Um, it's funny though. I remember the second Broadway show I ever saw was Beauty and the Beast, and right when we saw it, it was new. It just came out, and they were advertising this new show, their adaptation of Lion King, and my parents got some offer for exclusive pre-sale
Mm-hmm.
access. And my parents were like, Lion King? How are they going to turn that into a
Right.
show? That's going to be horrible.
Right.
And so they gave up on that. They passed, and sure enough, it became like the biggest sensation on Broadway
Which
for.
is funny because when it came here, I was like, okay, I have to see it, and I hated it.
Really?
I did not enjoy it at all. But the second time I saw it, I really liked it.
Oh, so I'm seeing
So
I'm seeing a pattern.
yeah, yeah. So it's really interesting because I don't know if it just wasn't what I expected,
Mhm.
or I thought it was too artsy, so it wasn't close enough to the movie.
Well, I was gonna ask, as someone who is so connected and invested in the source material,
Mhm.
they definitely, for a lot of these shows, take a lot of liberties,
They do.
just either to present new work or just for practicality reasons. Do you feel like maybe the first time seeing it, you're kind of comparing it to your vision, and then maybe the second time you're more open-minded?
Maybe with The Lion King and with Aladdin.
Mhm.
I don't think so with Beauty and the Beast, but maybe Beauty and the Beast was really close.
It was, yeah.
I mean, Beauty and the Beast was amazing. The
Mhm.
first time I saw it, it just knocked my socks off. So I was like, wow, that's the way you do that.
And even the new songs that they added in that show are incredible.
Hmm.
Like Home, I love that song. So let's talk about the show, Aladdin.
Sure. So, I mean, I will say I've seen Beauty and the Beast on stage. I've seen The Lion King. I've seen both of those multiple times. I saw Aladdin in New York. I saw Frozen in New York.
Oh, yes.
So I've got a little bit of experience with these shows, and I did not like the Aladdin in New York, but I did enjoy last night.
Oh my God, I did. And I thought everyone last night was wonderful. Like, I thought the voices were, uh, you know, technically very uh, on track. I thought they were very well trained people that executed their performances really well.
The harmonies were really tight.
Yeah, I thought they like, I always am a little hesitant with Disney shows
Hmm.
with performances because I feel like everything is very uh, one note or two dimensional.
Hmm.
And I like to see a little imperfection. I like
Hmm.
to see a little depth.
Right.
And I really feel like they walked that line very well of being cartoony and paying homage to the source material, but
Hmm.
also delivering a fully well-rounded performance.
Yeah, and it was a really enjoyable experience. I mean, it was just like when we were leaving, Zach said, that was just a feel good show. And I was like, it really is just a feel good show.
Hmm.
It was just fun.
Oh yeah, it gave you everything you wanted. I mean, even though I love when you know where the story is going, but you still feel stressed out when things go wrong for the hero, or like, oh, are they gonna get together? And
And
you know exactly what's gonna happen, but you still get so invested in the story, and I really think that's a testament to the production. Not to mention, it's just one of the most spectacular shows I've ever seen. Just I mean, the
the
costumes were
costumes,
so
they
beautiful.
were amazing. And the colors and the glitz and the glamour. I mean, if there's one thing Disney does really, really well, it's the spectacle.
Oh yeah. There
You
were
know,
fireworks on
Yeah,
stage.
there were fireworks. There were fireworks on stage. Let's back up a little bit though, because we're going forward too fast. Okay, so there were some new songs.
Yes, there were some new songs, new characters. Um I feel like this is probably of all the Disney stage adaptations changed has the most newness
Hmm.
in it, if that makes sense. Where like they changed all the animal roles to be humans.
Right. So instead of Aladdin's pet monkey,
Abu.
he had like three friends.
Hmm.
So it was kind of like I was expecting a boy band number. I didn't get it.
They tried with that. Like, I feel like that was their.
That was the
Oh,
boy band number,
yeah. Where
the adventure number.
well, that. But then they had that. Remember, they were like, oh, we're not going to be thieves anymore. We're going to be
Yeah, that
musicians.
didn't work out for me. They should have gotten Frank Wildhorn. He could have written a really good boy band
Oh yeah. Oh
number.
yeah. Especially '90s boy
Yeah,
band.
yeah. So, but they had that, and they had instead of Jasmine's
Tiger.
Tiger, she had ladies in waiting.
Yeah, which were kind of in the movie. I guess I feel like they just enhanced their role,
Mhm.
but the tiger kind of was missing. And then Iago, the parrot, was kind of a little dumpy servant
Yeah.
who was really funny. I feel like,
He was really
and
good.
they played up it was very winking that, there were a lot of like him echoing Jafar
Yes.
and kind of lots of winks and nods to his character originally being a parrot.
Mhm.
So I thought that was really clever.
Which I found interesting because in The Lion King, they turn all of these animals into puppets,
Mhm.
but they don't turn the animals into puppets in Aladdin.
Right. And I guess it makes sense because I mean, I was watching, I was trying to imagine like how they would do a monkey, and if it was a puppet, that would be,
Out of place?
yeah, it's not like he was that important of a role that they would really want to go through all the trouble of making a monkey. But I thought that the real star of the show was the genie.
Of course. I was waiting for the genie to come out. I was just waiting because I had seen him in not this particular actor, but I'd seen the genie character in New York, and he stole the show in New York. And so I was just like, when is this genie coming out?
Oh yeah,
But the Cave of Wonders was
wonderful.
amazing. I had to lean over and actually talk to Zach in the middle of the show, which I never do, and that's like taboo. But I said, wow, that's a lot of gold because everything is gold. I mean, it's full of gold. The stage was so gold.
Yeah, and not like a tacky gold, like a really
It looked
expensive looking gold.
metallic gold.
Yeah.
It was amazing. And of course he finds the lamp. He rubs the lamp. The genie pops out of a big pile of gold,
Mhm.
basically. And the character is amazing. The actor was amazing. He stole the show.
Oh, of course. And with not a lot of, I mean, there were a lot of special effects in that show, and a lot of them around the genie, but I feel like that kind of like Robin Williams, like in the cartoon where he's like transforming into all these different things and
Mhm.
popping different costume uh, pieces and accessories in to help tell his jokes. The genie did all of his comedy without most of that, and it was so funny. He did
It
such a
was.
great job.
He did a great job. And I mean, there was a tap dance number.
And there was a they gave you
Everything I
everything.
wanted. So we're sitting there, and the genie's in the middle of his number, and out come the tap dancers. And Zach's like, oh. And I was like, yep, there's the tap dance number. So yeah, they started tapping. There were fireworks.
Yes, let's just talk about the fireworks for the third time because real fire, not just like pyrotechnics. It was full on fireworks show.
Yeah, but I mean, it was pyrotechnics.
I mean,
it was
yes,
just
it
it was
was.
like bang, and there's all these pyrotechnics, and then there was a part where it wasn't silly string, but it was like streamers,
Oh, and then streamers came out
metallic,
for.
silver metallic streamers
Mhm.
that went out halfway across the orchestra.
I mean, there's a room walking just to our offices up here that says pyrotechnic room.
Yes, and I saw that, and I didn't think anything of it. I was like, oh, they're just being funny,
No, they're
because sometimes they
serious.
put jokes. I think it says
Yeah.
explosives or something
Yeah.
on it, and I
Mhm.
was like, okay, they're just being facetious. And then last night I was like, oh, they're not being
Yeah.
facetious. That really is the explosives room. So yeah, and that was all one number.
All one number.
Yeah,
But so then, okay, so they
and of course
had,
that was Friend Like Me.
yes, I mean, they could have just done that number 5
They could have
times,
done
and
that
I would have
number,
been
and I
like,
would have been like, that's good. I can go home.
yes,
Yeah.
it was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
But still, there was more shows. I mean, they already had a gold room of wonders. They had fireworks. They had the streamers, and then they have the magic flying
They
carpet
had the flying carpet.
that I could not clock one string.
Me either.
I have still to this moment no idea
I
how
have
that
no
happens.
idea how they did it. I want to go down to the production department and be like, how did they do that? Because I was looking for the strings and I couldn't see any
I know.
strings.
And like they fly through the moon. I thought certainly when they flew through the moon, with the backlighting, you would see some kind
Something.
of line.
Yeah.
No, I
Nothing.
didn't see anything.
Nothing. And it flew all over the stage.
All over.
High, low, left, right. It was everywhere. And then, of course, we have the Hall of Shame.
Oh, the Hall of course. Of course. We should have known this was coming.
So we're enjoying Whole New World. Jasmine and Aladdin are singing beautifully. The flying carpet is really magical. It's starry, so they're like on a starry background. It was amazing.
And I get it. It's beautiful. When you see beautiful things now, we want to like take pictures of everything so we can put it on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also the darkest number of the entire show because they have all the stars and the moon. And so suddenly there's this giant flash right behind us.
Well, there was a glow first.
A glow.
A very bright glow.
And then a flash. Someone was trying to take pictures.
Taking pictures of the flying carpet.
I mean, really?
I got so close to turning around and saying, put that away.
Oh my God, I would have died.
Oh my gosh. I was so close and I was like, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it.
I did give the side, the side eye.
I saw you give the side eye. Yeah, but they still continued.
Oh yeah, they were talking too. It was like a quiet number too, so you could hear everything.
They were probably saying, how are they doing
that? I would allow that. If they like whispered in my ear, they're like, how are they doing that? I would have been like, okay, I was wondering the same thing. But they just wanted a photo. It made me, we were talking about the Yonder cases. I saw Madonna the week before, and we had to put our phones in the Yonder cases. And it was so nice.
Mm-hmm.
It was so nice.
I told you.
No one had their phones out. No one was watching the show through their phone. I loved it. I think that we should do that for every show.
Yeah, I really, really like them. And, I was a bit torn because, I'm in charge of digital marketing. So, I don't want to take anybody's phones away. But I like the Yonder cases.
It did remind me how like addicted I was to it because I would feel I should have turned off my phone because I would feel the
buzz.
Vibrate like, oh my God, I can't check it.
Yeah, so
and I didn't feel it because they have like the area that you can go to like
to get it unlocked.
It's like the smoking area,
right?
The new smoking,
right?
Where you can like get your digital fix.
That's funny. Yeah. So
Hall of Shame. Keep your phones. We have plenty of photos on Facebook, on the website, where you can take that professional photo, share it on your own Facebook channel, text your friends. They'll think you're the best photographer ever.
They will.
Like, how did you get that shot?
Oh my gosh, what an amazing shot.
It's going to be a lot better than your
you're in the dark. I mean, I'm sure it turned out terrible too.
Oh yeah.
I'm sure the photo was awful, and so you disturbed everyone around you for a bad photo.
If you're listening and you're the one who took this photo, please send it to us because I'd love to see it.
Post it on Twitter. # Straz Podcast. We want to see it.
Yes.
And just know that you, anonymous person, ended up in the Hall of Shame.
Yeah, we'll have like a Hall of Shame prize for you. All right. So I didn't really know what to expect with Aladdin, and I loved it. I thought it was the perfect night out, a fun, fulfilling musical theater experience. It was just enjoyable. The time went by so quickly. It was great to see all the kids dressed up in their little Jasmine and Aladdin.
They were adorable. The kids were adorable.
And there was not like, you think of family shows sometimes as like, oh, there's going to be a lot of kids. But everyone was so well behaved.
They didn't disturb the performance
not at all. The adults taking the photos.
I know, they were worse. I know.
The kids were great.
There were some people in front of us that were just dancing around in their seats. They were having such a good time.
It's great to see something that, so many people have such a connection to because you can feel the excitement of everyone waiting for their favorite song or their favorite character to come out or seeing how their favorite story is reinterpreted for the stage. So I would give it 3 out of 3 magic lamps.
I do. 3
for
out
the
of
3
3
wishes.
Oh, for the 3 wishes. See,
Yes.
I'm glad you said that because it's early and I wasn't making that connection.
Yeah, I know. Because I was going to be like, I'm going to give it 3 wishes, but we like the magic lamps. But I wanted to stick with 3. But sometimes 3 doesn't sound good.
Right.
So I wanted to make it clear that it's 3 out of 3.
3 out of 3.
100%.
I like it.
Yes.
Yeah. I agree.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
To the cast, to the crew, to the audience, to us.
To Disney's Aladdin.
All right. So next time we're going to be talking about our theater New Year's resolutions.
We are. We're going to be talking about all things new.
This was our last podcast of the year.
I know.
What a great year it has been.
Wow, it was fast.
I know. And I can't wait to see what 2020 brings us and all of the other things that we get to talk about that everyone else missed.
Hopefully they won't miss them.
Yeah, don't miss it. But
Don't miss them.
if you do, you can listen to the podcast.
There you go.
All right. Well, wishing you the best this holiday season and a very fabulous and theatrical 2020.
Happy New Year, everyone.
I'm Zachary Hines, and this is what you missed at the Straz.